Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on Restitched. Tricks Creative has a press kit released on their website, and I want to go through it today because there's some stuff in here that we've never seen before that when I saw it was kind of like, oh, this is really cool. Or I really put it in thumbnails because like, oh, this is a really high quality image and it's transparent and it was perfect. And I was like, okay, I'll use this. But I do want to go through this and show you guys what is in here, at least as of a couple weeks ago when I downloaded this. I hope it hasn't updated. I don't think it has. Some of this stuff is relatively old, but let's go through the press kit and see what exists in these files. Alright, let's start with the announcements. These are basic pictures. These are seasonal announcements. It starts with Halloween images, one with a stuffy blue, like in a shark costume, one in like a Grim Reaper costume, Happy Halloween, and another alternate version, Happy Halloween. Next is the thumbnails, which is just like square images, I guess, for Instagram, and they're just background thumbnails. There's one for the reveal trailer, which I'm assuming was an Instagram post or something like that. And then the Restitched wishlist on Steam is in that same format. I think it's a little bigger than a square. Probably like a 3x4, but it is a little thumbnail, so it exists in here if you do want to use it for something. And then there's the contest, the style of stuffy contest. I believe there have been, I think I missed these, but there are little contests that they did before that you enter and you draw a costume, and if you win, you get into the game, a costume of your own into the game. And I think they did this a little while back, and some people won, and some costumes made it in. I don't think in these files those exist, but I think maybe on their social media it might have been put up somewhere a while back. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, these are just the logo and like the little banner that they put up, I guess maybe for their website. It's just pictures like that they had up here. That they were using for that contest. It's not really the actual contest winners or anything like that. It is the promotion material and like the Restitched logo, little things like that. All right, next are development posts. There isn't a ton in here, I don't think. But first file is the development diary, which is just more Restitched images, like a 3x4 image of a Restitched developer diary as their little thumbnail thing. Then the logo, it's transparent without it, so you can cut out the logo from here, but I think later in the files there is a transparent logo, which I think I did use. Then there's like the images that they use to show off what they have in the developer diary: logo evolution, level background, why Restitched, team interview, stitching Stuffy, and designing the stamps. So it's just like stuff that does exist on the Tricks of Creative website. If you do support them through Patreon, you get to see a lot of this stuff. Behind the scenes stuff, special team interviews, and monthly stamp previews, which some are in here actually, which I'll go over later. Next is early access posts, monthly stamp reviews, special team interviews, developer diary posts, monthly comic book entries, which is just all stuff that you can get on Trixel Creative on their Trixel Plus, which is their Patreon service. There's just more thumbnails and stuff like that. What they have: Restitching Stuffy, the craft book, Captain Stuffy, cosmetic creation, team interview number 2, asset import, team workflow, first step. So just a bunch of stuff that they've been doing behind the scenes, but a little bit is, you know, recorded and done and is put up on their Patreon if you do want to check it out. I will not personally be checking that out. I would love to support, but I don't have a way to right now. It is relatively cheap. I think it's like $2 if you really want to go and support this game, but I'm not going to be doing it just because if I did, it would be really hard to make videos like this if it is something on Trixel's creatives on their Plus, on Trixel Plus, and I'm not supposed to be seeing that if I'm not paying for it, so I'm not supposed to be redistributing that information to the masses. So I will not be looking at the Patreon page, at least for right now, that because I would be showing people what is behind a paywall, so I shouldn't be doing that. So for now, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be showing off what's on Trixel Plus, just because people should pay to see the stuff that's on there. That's the way it works right now. So I'm not going to go on there and just take everything and make a video on it. I'm going to stick with the stuff that is in the public domain for this game for right now. The next file is the recapped, which is the recaps that they do monthly on their website about what they've been doing for the past month and how the game's going. This is just 2 little title cards, just a banner, and then the title with the Restitch and the recap. Just so it looks like there's like little tape holding the recapped sign up. And then there's the thumbnails, 6 public posts out now. I guess it's like promotional material they put on Twitter or Instagram, whatever. And then another 3x4, or at least I'm assuming the 3x4 thumbnails for these posts. And then there's the roadmaps. There is a 2021 folder, but there is nothing in the 2021 folder, so I guess they're meant to be. Oh, actually it's in the other folder. Okay, it's not in the right place, but it's in here. And this is the old roadmap of stuff that was going to be planned. I'm assuming all of this is already passed, unless it was delayed. I see they create a skin contest at the end of 2021. There is stuff on the 2022 roadmap that we haven't reached, and also stuff that is in question marks that I am assuming is the trailer, and because it is the only thing that I don't see on this list and is in question marks, so I guess it was the big reveal. And there's still something later in October through December that we do not know what it is. But coming up, I guess, would be whatever's October to December. There might be some stuff in this list that I haven't seen, but just going over the for sure what I haven't seen is the Trixel Plus anniversary, the Dev Diary programming, Dev Diary concept art, then there's a question marks, whatever that is, and then the free comic page, so that'll be I think the first free comic page of the Captain Stuffy comics, I believe. And then the stamp preview, so there's more stamp previews for what they've been doing. And then last in this folder of development posts, there is stamp previews. So these are all stamp previews, I guess, that have already come out. So you can probably find these on Trixel's website for free, I believe. I don't think these are Trixel Plus ones. Then there's a question mark one that looks like some kind of maybe dessert. And there's a Rolling Acres logo. There is the round honeybee, mail envelope manila. A parcel label, so just I guess you can put it on the folder or a letter, whatever. Bread slice and melting butter, and then there's I think these might be separate, but I guess you're meant to put these together if you really wanted to. Fox Noodles logo, oh, this one looks really good. I like these. I like these stickers. Stuffy popsicle, it looks as terrifying as I expect it to be. If somebody made this in real life, I wouldn't doubt that is how it would look. It is slightly scary. Pancake, wow, that actually looks really good for it just being a flat 2D image. Cheeseburger, peanut butter jar, scorch mark, I guess for, you know, designs and stuff like that, just to make it a little more into the world. Eiffel Tower, chocolate pip, and then the stamp preview logo for Restitched. So that is all the stamp previews that are out at the moment. There might be one coming up soon in the recap, but I don't think it's out yet. I will check. If it is, I will make a video on it. Then there's a info on the fonts. I can see if I can put this in. I'll try and get a picture or something, but it's just telling you what fonts. They can't redistribute them. You can only provide what the names are, and the names of the fonts, if I don't put them in, maybe they'll be in the description, is Plumpful and Balsamic Sands, bold. Those are the fonts that are used for this game. If you do want to try and make a thumbnail or something with the font, those are the two fonts. I think I did download Balsamic Sands. It looked really cool, so I wanted to use it. Okay, on to the next big folder. It's graphics. So this is a big one of a bunch of stuff that is in here. So let's go through it. There is backgrounds. These are the folder backgrounds that you can use for anything. These are I think they're 1980 by 1020, 1080, 1920 by 1080 backgrounds. So you can use these for your computer if you want. It's just like kind of color variation, some background variation for the hearts and needle and thread one, but they're pretty much the same. The one I'm using actually on my computer right now is the blueprints props one. It's just like backgrounds with some like random stuff for building and creating and things like that. And there's one without the tools, and then there's one with a little bit of a different gradient. But those are just computer backgrounds, or if you want it on your phone, whatever. They're just backgrounds to use for that. Then next is banners, which they've been using for the promotional art. And I think this is also on their website somewhere. You can see the clouds actually that I hadn't seen before. I know they were in the files and I couldn't figure out where they were, but they're in this promotional art. So this is just stuff like running. You can see the farm in the background. There's the little clouds in the sky. Then the next one is the coming to Steam. It's the promotional art for this, and then with a different thing, instead of saying coming to Steam, it says build your adventure. And then there's one with the same background and the same strip of cloth underneath it, the stitch cloth underneath, but without Stuffy and the background and the clouds and stuff like that. The background's a little different actually if you flip between them, but it is essentially the same thing. I guess it's if you want to make your own, or maybe they needed these separate for reasons if they wanted to move stuff around. And the next folder is the clouds I was talking about. They're in the promotional art, but this is just the clouds. Wow, they have a very long string. They look really good, but I could not figure out for the life of me where they went or why we had them, but it's because they're in the promotional art, and that's fine. The next folder is fabric panels, which they're just, this one's called divider line, divider strip, fabric box, fabric panel, section strip, section strip. They're these cloths that have an outline of stitching, and I guess you can just use them as dividers, or you can use them as a little background on top of another image. This is a full 1920 by 1080 almost image. It's a little shorter than I think that is, but these are mostly used, I think, to put on top of something else. And then there's one with just the stitching on the bottom. There's one with just stitching on top. And these are just different variations of these images, I guess, to use in graphics. Or if you want to use them for something, you can use them for something. I use these actually on my own in one of the thumbnails, I believe. Okay, next is graphics for icons. This is a little difficult because the file explorer is white and all the graphics don't have an outline and they're all white. There is 84 of them. So I'm gonna figure out if I can put these in the video because this will take a while. But there's graphics essentially for everything they'll see in the game. Little things like the save icon, the trash icon, like a spyglass for something, files, paintbrush. There's probably a lot of building stuff, stuffy icons, heart icons. So I guess just the basic stuff you will see in the game for building, for moving around, for seeing the needle and thread. There's a cursor icon, there's a present, there's that hand, thumbs up, thumbs down. They're sort of like little stickers as well. But these will also, I guess, be in the game almost as stickers, or maybe they will be used already. So you'll know, if you hover over something, it'll be this icon. If you don't, it'll be this icon or whatever, right? Stuff like that. I don't know if I'm gonna go through all of them because a lot of them are very basic stuff, but they're there. I'm not sure if we'll see all of them, but they are in here if you do want to look through them. They are completely white, so it's a little hard to see, but they're in here. You'll probably see them in the game once in a while, if not all of them, most of them. On the next folder, it is stamps. So these are, yeah, I forgot, stickers in this game are called stamps. So we'll go through these. There's a little less of them. There's an apple stamp, a cactus stamp. The cactus one looks really cute. There's a carrot, a VHS tape. I believe that's just the tape. There's a cheeseburger. These are all the things we had seen before, but there's a couple extra. There's corn on the cob. There's a text bubble, like a western boot with a spur, a crayon, a couple crayons. There's the mystery one that was just a question mark on it earlier. This is the full one with the actual art on it. Eiffel Tower. There's the things we've seen before. This is like a smiling stuffy graphic art that's just like blue. It looks like graffiti and it looks really, really cool. Harbor, I guess it's for the harbor levels. There's like a little heart. Ideas. There's the envelope. There's the front of the envelope where the actual thing goes that we saw before. There's a cloud. Just a bunch of stuff like this. There's a bunch of little stamps. You can go through these, and there's actual stamps in here. That's a little funny. There's a couple stamps that are actually in here with some art on them. But you can go through these if you really want to. I will try and put most of them, if not all of them, on screen. But yeah, these are just little arts. These are the things that you for sure can put onto your levels, and that you for sure will see in levels in the story mode. So these you'll be able to move around. You can put on the stage, probably on yourself as well. I do remember that feature. You can stamp yourself and stuff like that. So these are the stamps that are out at the moment. There will most likely be a lot more, but there is a good amount already. So I'm excited to see what the next ones will be and what will be in the final game. Okay, the next folder is Stuffy & Co. So Stuffy & Company. So there's stuff on Stuffy, but these look like stamp. And I don't know, some of these are kind of high resolution. I don't know if we'll see all of these as stamps. I hope we do, because some of these look really cool. But let's start with the first folder, the only folder that's in here, which is Stuffy Emotes, essentially. They're like Twitch emotes, but they're stuffy and they look amazing. I've been using them in the Trixel server a lot, and the Discord server, and it looks really cool. I use this in the thumbnail as well. When I found this, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. There's excited Stuffy, there's a static Stuffy ecstatic, which are relatively the same emotion, but they are drawn differently. There's a wave, there's a full body wave, there's like an angry Stuffy, a puzzled confused Stuffy, also scared confused Stuffy, I guess. Then there's a smile, and then there's a Stuffy smiling with the Trixel logo. He's holding it in front of him. And those are all the emojis that exist here in the folder called emojis, and they look really cool. I really do want to see these in game or utilized somehow. But just in the whole folder overall, there is the pride sticker, which I did use on the first video I made on this. So there's the pride logo, which looks really, really cute. I like it a lot. I don't know all the flags. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know everything. I forget. There's a lot of stuff to go over, but it's cool that there's all this inclusion, and this art looks really amazing. I love what they did with it. Like, I mean, I'm looking at this from a standpoint as an artist. This looks really, really cool, the way they did everything here. I would love to draw more, but seems like a little confusing of a style compared to what I usually do. There is a full white Santa Stuffy, which I had missed earlier, but it's just white on a white background for me, so yeah, it's hard to see. There's a Stuffy running stencil, which we might see on some walls. This is such a cool art piece. The Trixel characters. I guess these are characters that are in the Captain Stuffy one. I guess these are the kids that I think Captain Stuffy, I believe, is the comic series that they're doing on Trixel Creative, right? But I believe it's a story about kids and their story they're telling through this stuffed animal. There seems to also be a duck and some kind of overarching story. In this picture, I see a city with a bad guy, right? I see pyramids, I believe that's what they are, and then I see the farm. I do want to go over this later, but these might be level areas we see within the game. And then we see the Captain Stuffy on its own, separated. We see the kids separated on their own, just on the world, and then the duck separated, and the Stuffy looks amazing separated on its own. I might use that somewhere. But these are really cool stickers or stamps that I would love to see in the game. I just don't know because they look really, really good. I wonder how high resolution we can make them in the game. Even if they're downscaled a bit, it should be fine. But they look amazing. I love the art and went into this. I would love to see the artists, maybe see some of their posts so I can follow them like on Instagram or something. I'm not sure who made these. I don't think there's a logo or credit somewhere maybe on the sticker or on the post. I don't know. I would love to find it later. If somebody knows, or if one of the devs see this, I would love to follow the artist who made these, because these look really cool. And then the last folder in, I think, the entire thing, or in the graphic thing, is the tagline labels, which there's just little logos that are on the Tricks Creative website, which is become a dev, a bold adventure, construction mode, introducing Stuffy, join the chatter, stuff wardrobe, and view on Steam. These are buttons that exist on Trixel's website. This is just the art that covers those, the buttons on that website, so you can go to these places. But that is it in the graphics folder. On to the key arts folder, which is, I think, relatively small. It is mostly the same stuff, but let's go over it. The key art here is pretty much a different version of what we had seen before. It is Stuffy running around. You see the farm in the back, but in this one you can see there's a desert area and there's also a metropolis area in the background, a city area. It is relatively the same stuff. Most of these are the same, just different variations of them. I like the way it looks. It looks really cute. I like the way they made Stuffy eventually, but this is mostly the same art. It's just different versions, so they can use it for different purposes. I think this might have been used in the trailer. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks amazing. It looks really cool, and it gives us a little insight into what the world might be. There is a separation in this folder that is horizontal, square, and vertical. The square is just for Instagram, right? So, and then the vertical would be used for the phones. So probably if they have a TikTok or something of the sort, or maybe they just wanted the tall post for Instagram stories or something like that. So this is just key art for the game, but that it exists in different versions and different alterations, or all stuff, so it can be put into different places. And then there's a logo folder and then the inside there's a Restitched logo folder, which has the text only without that background, that cut out background of the grid, and as well as it doesn't have the stitching around the letters, which I really like the way it looks on its own, but I love the way it looked with the stitching and with the background. It looks really, really cool. So you can use either or if you wanted to use some of these. And then outside of that folder, there's the stitching and the background one. There's one that's a little darker, I believe. I don't see much of a difference other than the lighting. I think it's slightly darker. The shadows are a little darker and the pink is a little grimier. I think that's like the only difference. And then there's just the Restitch R logo separated. I'm not sure what this purpose. I don't know what this is used for, actually. I don't know if they've used this anywhere. I've never seen it, I don't think, but it's just the singular R on its own. And then in the other folders, the Trixel Creative folder, there's a stencil logo. It's just completely white. It's Trixel Creative spelled out. And it's just different alterations of these logos. So if you wanted to use them somewhere, Trixel definitely uses them in different places. So this is where they have them if we wanted to use them for, anything press related. Okay, I think this is the most exciting folder. This is the media folder, and it has concept art of the game, this concept art of Stuffy, this concept art of the levels, and it looks really cool. Starting off on the first one, we see different areas. I think this is meant to be the same level, actually. This is the concept art of, I'm assuming, the inside of the barn. There's one part where you see Stuffy in the background. There's like hay laying down, so there's almost the entrance of the barn. Then the next one is a wider shot where there's more hay, there's just more stuff in the background. There's like a second layer and a ladder leading up to it. The third image has like a Vespa. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it's called. There's a little tiny motorcycle in the back. There's crates, there's bags, there's hay, another ladder, a different ladder leading up to the top. And then there's another shot of a different type of barn with more haystacks, or the round ones. Or maybe grass. There's some tools, and it's just variations of the barn. This is concept art for the barn. The next is like the level layout. Some of this looks like 3D models, actually. I'm looking at it and it looks very realistic in a way that it looks 3D modeled. Then the barn is drawn. I think the silo is sort of actually out of focus. It's not. Oh, actually, no, it's just like blending in with the background because it's so white. It looks like it's disappearing, but it's not. It's just back in really bad lighting for that spot. But then there's the concept art for the barn, and then question marks on something else outside. Maybe they want something on the side. I'm assuming. So this is just concept art, right? So take this with a grain of salt because it might not be in the final game. None of it might be in the game at all. I think they do want to do barn levels, but it's gonna be probably different than what you're seeing here. A lot different than what you're seeing here. This is my favorite part because I've been looking. I didn't even think about this until I saw this this art here, and this is the needle and thread. You can attach it to other players, so I didn't even think about that. I don't know why I didn't think about that. it collides and you can pull them in and then you hug. I don't know if that'll be an actual mechanic if you pull them in. I'm trying to read the text that's on the side and I'll try and pause it. So I think they do hug. I think there's a plan to make it an animation. When you pull somebody in, they'll actually hug together, which is really cute. There seems to be some concept art for maybe a house, some kind of house, or maybe on the top of the barn. There is, well, actually this is a brick home, it looks like. So there's brick, there's like, it looks like maybe an old children's room, there's old toys, there's just a box that just says up. I'm not 100% sure. This is cloth, old stuff. So this looks like maybe an abandoned room, or a room somebody's moved out of, or where they put extra stuff that they don't need. So yeah, this is more concept art for more levels. Hopefully we'll get to see some of this because this looks really cool. And then the last things is more logo variations. These look sort of different. There's a blue one on the bottom that looks hella different, but the one on top looks a little more sketchy. It looks like it's made like just a brush on the top. There's empty sections. The stitching, it's all white. It's not pink like it is in the rest of them, and the letter has a gradient running up it. It's a little different. This is a concept art folder, so I don't know if this is actually concept art or in-game stuff, but it says concept art. So this Builder UI settings page, construction mode. So I'm assuming there's concept stuff on what will be there. There's physics, statics, bevels, visible, I guess if the block's visible, sounds, how loud it should be, if it's threadable, the bounciness. If that wasn't there, I wouldn't even know what that meant. That is cool. So there'll be bounceable blocks. I guess there'll be like slime blocks, sorta, in the game. So you can jump on them, there'll be like trampoline stuff. And then the last one, I don't know what it is. It's just a wrench. I guess we'll maybe find out later. But there's a ton of buttons in here. There's a lot of stuff to go through in here. If I get the chance to, maybe I'll keep looking. If I find something interesting, I'll talk about it. But for now, let's move on to the next one. There is more concept art for colors based on this stuff. There might be some interesting stuff in here that's separated by cardboard, paper, fabrics, wood, metal, stone, special effects, miscellaneous, default palette, and the extra stuff, clothes and things like that, because this is just your regular like inventory menu or whatever it's called. And then, but this is more of a concept art for the colors on this. So see if it works, if it doesn't work. Oh man, I didn't even read this. There is so much stuff in here. This is a really detailed one, and I am gonna go through it just because I think it's relatively interesting. This is, I guess, an early version of UI. These are notes for the programmer to see how anything works. So let's go over top left first. There's level details. There's a pin. It's a controller option, which I'm not. I guess maybe it's a play button to actually try the level, because I don't think controller is supported at all in the build mode. There's grid, small angle, snap 15. Flats, perspective off. I guess you can make it like a 2D Mario area, and it'll be something like that, which would be kind of cool. Level details. Should these pop-up labels have drop shadows too? Would say yes, but Illustrator won't properly add them. I guess maybe it wouldn't work. It'd be interesting. I mean, it looks fine with or without. I think that, yeah, there's an example below. This is a highlighted selected shape. There's a simple hearted shadow drop applied to the create depth. Make sure your selection stands out. The simple and even edges could even allow for longer and wider variations of selection. These are very in-depth notes. And looking at this, I'm just like truly realizing the amount of work that is going into this game and what the level of detail they have to work with. This is crazy. Top left strip may change with time depending on what we need to add to it. So they're saying if they need more buttons on the top left, they might add more. They might remove some, or whatever they're gonna do. They need to streamline the process as much as they can. This is just talking about UI changes and stuff that might be added and stuff that will change. I don't want to go through it to make this even longer, but you can read it on your own if you want to. This will be on screen long enough. You can pause. But it's just about animation, seeing if it moves faster, how they want to do it to make it more fun to use. And I do want to reiterate, this is in the concept art, so this might be very different when we get to the actual game. But looking at it is really cool to see how far they've already come and how far they've gotten. Or even if this is just concept art of stuff put on and this is not actually in game, it still looks already amazing. I would love to see the UI just like this. It would be perfectly fine, but I'm not a builder, so I have no idea, nor am I a programmer, so I don't understand if this is perfect or if this is bad or not. But it looks fine to me. It looks usable. All right, I'm moving to the next image. There is emotions default face. There is a happy one with the mouth open. There is like a questioning one, and then there's one with like a smile. So the default face is just kind of like sitting there. It's gonna look a little happier than that, I think, but then there's like an actual smiling one with like a wide smile, not with open teeth, but you know, it's a little smile. I guess these are plans for emotions. Maybe if you're playing on controller, they'll have them on D-pad. It'll probably be 4 emotions like certain games have, so that'd be kind of cool. I would love to see a bit of emotion in the character. And then there's a oh my god, there's a concept art for the key art in Restitched, which is the key art we were looking at earlier, and it looks so similar. Actually, it looks the game box art. Okay, so if this is printed officially this would be the game box art, or at least that's what they were planning for back then when they made this. But it looks really good. And looking in it, there's a volcano. So maybe we'll see a volcano level. That's possible. There's a city in the background, there's a volcano in front of it, and there's a sand pyramid level in front of it, and then there's the barn in front of that. So maybe we'll see a normal green pasture. We'll start maybe in the farm area, or a little before it, just in like a house or something. And then we'll move to the farm, then we'll move to the pyramids, and then we'll move to the volcano, and then we'll move to the city, or something of that sort. Maybe these will actually be world levels we see. And then there's thumbnails, variations of the art. It's just the same art, just kind of in different scales and crops. And then there's actually a different version that cuts out the whole desert, that cuts out the whole volcano, and just adds a forest in between it. That makes a really bright forest from the forest to the city. That is the only thing in between. So this might be a different variation. But then the final one, they added back in the desert, or this still might be early concept, but they added back in the desert. There seems to be a mountain area now before you get to the city. And then there's more Restitched logos on different backgrounds to see how it looks. They look pretty similar. They're not much different from what we have now. And then there's more concept art for the inventory, or the craft book. That's what it's called. I'm looking at it now. I see it on the bottom left. The craft book, your inventory, is gonna look like this. Or this is what they wanted it to look like back then, and it has pretty much grown to it looks the same. It looks pretty similar, and it looks really good. I like the way it looks. And then there's different variations of the Restitched logo, with having the ears fully covered, with ears open, like the way the bear would have like a different coloring in the inside, or they are separated from the R. And I do like the one we went with. It's the first one that has the ears completely covered. And then there's more craft book stuff for the search feature, which I think is really cool, that you're able to search in this thing. I hope they keep that feature. I think they do want to, but it's amazing that you can just search specifically for something. If you know the name of it, you can just look for it. That's really cool. Or a keyword, maybe you're like, oh, skin stuff, or this green color, and they'll give you all the greens, or something like that, you know? These seem to be text. It's a little confusing what they want. It doesn't seem to be Stuffy talking. Also, this is the old model of Stuffy, but it seems to be text that is being told to you. So I don't understand the arrow. I think that doesn't make much sense if Stuffy isn't the one talking. I like the one on the bottom right, which is just the text sitting on the bottom. Oh, damn. It's just the text of Stuffy sitting on the bottom right. I've been talking for like half an hour, sorry. And then there's another splats and stitches of the Restitched logo. Goddamn. The Restitched logo is just another variation. Another different variation, and I think a different font, or just separated differently. It looks a little strange, I'm not gonna lie, but this might be an early version of it. And then there's Stuffy. There's a Teddy concepts for the way they would look. There's a bunch of different versions. There's like a square-headed one. There's like a completely round one that looks so funny. Yeah, there's the completely round one, and there's one that's like a little thumb. But they look really cool. I would love to see variations of this in the game, maybe as NPCs or something. But this looks funny. Or maybe you can unlock different Stuffy shapes. That would be kind of cool. If you could unlock these, if you could unlock round Stuffy, I think that would be the funniest thing. If like having actual different body shapes. I feel like that would be maybe more difficult to making the costumes. But even if they look janky, I think it'd be funny. Or maybe you don't allow the costume to just have the different shapes, and it would be kind of funny to have. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe this different shapes could be the different costumes, and they're just Stuffy, but they're just different shaped Stuffy. But they're still costumes technically. They're just full body costumes, I guess, right? Or maybe you can put on the top half and the bottom half, like it's a suit or something, right? Like the way Fall Guys has their bottom half, and then it just kind of cuts, and then they have the top half, and it just kind of cuts. So, and when you put them together, it looks really good. But when you have them separated, they look like there's just like a missing section or something. Then there's more concept art. Round ones, there's more concept art of the face, or the way they want the buttons to look. If they're just dot eyes, which is what they went with, or buttons for eyes, or an actual missing button that looks quite terrifying. And then there's more, I guess this is early concept of the darker Stuffy, the one they had the models in earlier. This is not what it looks like now, but it was a good start. I do think they started pretty well. But I do like what it became compared to what it was back then. Then there's more stuff on the character model, and then there's the Stuffy bear versus the floppy bunny ears on the bunny character, which they look amazing. I really do like these skins. I hope maybe we'll get a variation of the old Stuffy model, like the skin of it. That sounds really bad. I hope we get like the Stuffy model as like a skin, like I don't know, like a color palette for the character, but like the old model where there's like the brown, the darker brown on the hands and the face, and there's like a spot, and the bunny ears, there's like a star. Like I would hope to see these models, these different skins, I guess, into the game that you can put on Stuffy, so it looks a little different. is default. There seems to be some kind of pig, a wolf, a deer. I think that's a dolphin or a whale, and then there's a seal. The seal looks really cute. I'm not gonna lie, I like the way that looks. I hope these all make it in the game, at least in some shape or form. It looks really cool. We've already seen a couple different ones actually. We see in a bee. I think these are also in the files, but I'll look at them in a bit. There's a thread wrap Restitched logo, which actually looks really interesting. Maybe if it was added onto some of the other ones, it would look even better, but I'm not sure. It looks really nice on its own right now. I actually like how it looks with the thread running through it. So that's a really cool logo. But that is the end of the concept art folder. So let's go on to the screenshots folder. So there's a screenshots folder for quarter 4 2021. So this is the end of 2021, the 4th quarter. And these are screenshots that they had released back then, I guess, on their accounts. So there's one for like a transform tool in the build mode. There's also just more movement. So you can see cardboard cutouts on just a regular background level. This seems to be some kind of... The first one seems to be just like under a house. There's like wheelbarrows, the carrot, stuff like that. The next one seems to be in some kind of maybe more of a city area. It seems to be more of maybe more of a city. There's like street lampposts, the lights on in the background. Maybe some kind of like industrial pipes in the back, or maybe that's actually more of a... This could be more of a pier, and that could be a fence more likely. This could be like a fishing spot or something like that. The next one is a nighttime version of the first one we saw. It looks pretty similar. And then we see a wolf costume, which actually looks really cool. The eyes look sort of terrifying, but it looks good. And then we see another craft book, early in-game screenshots. So yeah, this is early concept stuff. Then we see some skins in here. There's some wings, I believe that's what they are. There seems to be like the chest hair for the wolf. I'm looking at it and zooming in, and it doesn't seem quite attached under this. I think that should go all the way up to the neck, but it doesn't seem attached to it. So it looks funny, a little funny to me, but it looks cool. Then there's different variations of ears. There's the deer ones. There's a bunch of bear ones. Maybe more deer stuff like Rudolph or something. This one has horns. There's different eyes. So these are the certain eyes. I like the default ones. They look fine. There seems to be a mustache for the face and some different costumes for the feet and some like different toes, I guess. There's one that's I have no idea, would this be wolf toes? I don't know. They're just like little nubs. There's little circles, and there's one that's actually more spiky, and then there's a pair of shoes. So you have a couple different options. And here's the full level actually. So it is more of a dock area. I was a little right about that. This is the new Stuffy model, by the way, so it's getting there. These look interesting. I wonder how this would actually work like in real life. These look more like playthings on top of a pier more than an actual building, but the background looks amazing. It just looks like a really cool level. I like it the way it looks great. There's a daytime shot of it. There's a lighthouse in the background. Just from the way I see things, it doesn't look like it's around here. It looks more of like a European town or something like that to me, but I don't really know how to differentiate. It's just the feeling I get looking at these images, but they look really pretty. It looks like a really quaint town. It looks amazing, and Stuffy looks really good just standing in this town. It looks great. And then there's more of the craft book. You see more materials for some more blocks. I'm not sure what they're selected on, but it looks really cool. There's a bunch of stuff we can see more in the level stuff. Then we see the little cowboy. I think this is, yeah, I guess that's what those ears were. They're not deer ears. They're more like cow ears, or not cows, but they're like is the cow male a bull? I think it's a bull. And those are those ears. It's meant to be horns and ears for more of for a cow or a bull or whatever animal this would be. But it looks really cool. It's supposed to be like a cowboy. It looks amazing. And then we see the bunny with the floppy ears that we saw before. And also on the side we see a bunch of stickers, or god damn it, I want to call them stickers, but they're not stickers, they're stamps in this game. And I just like it. I just think stickers because they're just stickers in real life. It's just the way I think of it. But we see more stamps here actually. All the way back in late 2021, there's more stamps that we haven't seen that are already on here. There's melting butter highlighted on this one, but it's without the bread. Oh, the bread's right next to it. But there's a bunch of other stamps on here, like popsicles and gingerbread men, which are separated from the head actually, and there's objects and stuff like that. The next one we see the bunny. There's a bunch of other stuff with more people, faces, kawaii faces. Some of them look really cute. I like the way they look. There seems to be a potato with a face. It might have a heart on it or something. I'm not sure. It looks like it has like lips. Those might be the lips. And I thought that was the nose, but I think that was, I thought the nose was the mouth, but I think it's actually the nose. There's a skull, there's some eyeballs, there's just a bunch of like separated body parts so you can make things, right? This looks really, really cool. I love the way this looks. There's some more we see, sign and iconography. Well, also talking about the character on the screen, it's a little bee. I like the little bee. It looks so cool. And then like there's like a little heart on its face. It's like a part of like the freckles it has. It looks really cool. But back to the stamps, there's more signs of iconography. We see the entire folder of that. There's not very many, but we see stamps, we see scissors, the fox one we had seen before. So this is a majority of the stamps we saw. And there is the Trixel logo, so that is there. And then the stamps, text and numbers, so those are also there. There's another bee that we see that has a little bit of different costume, has the like chest hair thing. It looks a little bit better on the bee actually because it goes all the way up to the neck. There's the ears, which are the bee ears, and then the eyes that look really cool. They were back with the mustache and the feet. I guess these are all the wardrobe options they have at the moment, or at least in this section. So this is all we're seeing for now. But in the next one we see a little lower than that, which has some glasses. We see some hair. There's a little bit hidden, but it looks like a mohawk. There's a scythe that you can put in your hand, maybe a sign, and then the head, there's some hats that you can see down there. This is like a burglar, so this has the glasses of a burglar. And that is all of the screenshots, I believe, in this folder. So that is all the 2021 screenshots. Let's move on to the 2022 final ones, which there's 69 in here. This is gonna be a long as hell video. I hope you guys make it through here, because I don't know if I want to split this into two. There's a lot of content to go over. So I hope you guys are enjoying me walk through this, because this is a lot. I do recommend you to go through it on your own if you really want to look at this stuff, or maybe have this as a background or something like that. Or if you're a content creator, you can use some of this as a thumbnail or just as your backgrounds. But starting off with the 2022 ones, in order, I believe. This is called Forest Test 3. This is just Stuffy in a little forest, and it looks really cool. It looks like a more of a human-made one, but it's a little tiny forest. It's a small beginner level. I'm assuming it is with the farm background, so this is probably one of the early stages we'll see. And it's just a little test of Stuffy in there. It looks really cool. And there's one at Stuffy at the pier or in the dock. I don't know what to call this. I'm gonna just say the dock for now if I can keep continuity. But it looks really good. I think it's the same screenshot we saw before, actually. Then moving on, there is one we saw in the trailer, maybe, this monkey with like Where's Waldo hat. It looks really cool though, but it's like a stuffed monkey you can buy like anywhere. I think I have one, or I've definitely had one in my life. Had some kind of stuffed monkey or a sock monkey. I've had some made for me. I've definitely made some, so this is really cool to see. I think it's meant to be a sock monkey. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks kind of cool. Then we see the testing stages we saw within the trailer, and this seems to be some, well, actually the animal may be just mixed. It might just be mixed stuff, but there's wings on this one. We see some more stuff, and we see the craft book just on the side, so it is already made collapsible, and it is already shown just on the side there. Then we can see different skins. There's the monkey skin, the bee skin, the bull one. See, there's like a little heart in their skins. Like, it looks really cool. We see the bunny one. It doesn't have a lot of stuff on it, but these are the way the skins work, and it looks really cool because it actually shows you a preview of what they're gonna look like on the character. It's not just the colors. It actually shows you what it's gonna look like. There's a wolf one. There's a full black one, which I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. There's a full red one, and then the one they're using in here is the blue one, which I'm not sure they're supposed to be certain animals, but they are cool looking skins. Then we see the tails. Stuffy does have a little tail. I was seeing confirmation of this in the Discord earlier because people were asking. There's a bee tail. There's the cow one. There seems to be, I don't know what that is. That might be like a dragon tail. I'm not sure. That might be what that red skin is. It might be a dragon. The next one seems to be some kind of long one, so maybe it's a cat tail or the monkey tail. And then there's a wolf one. There's teeth. There's like vampire teeth, and the torso. The bear nana isn't. It's selected here, but it's not. It is not shown. I think there is an image of it, and there was at the end of the trailer, of the first trailer that dropped. But okay, there's a couple other skins. There seems, oh, that's like the Reaper skin, and there's like a cowboy one. There's the robber one, I believe. There's the shark one, and then there's like a polka dot dress. But the bear nana suit looks amazing. It is just a callback to the LVP banana suit and the banana meme. I love that image of the banana. It looks so good. But okay, this looks amazing. I hope it looks just as good in this game. Then we see some more images for the trailer, or that we saw in the trailer. This is the old Stuffy, I believe. This looks like the old Stuffy like skin palette. So that means it might be in the game, but it looks a little different to me. I might be wrong, but it looks a little different. We see some more stamps, cowboy boots, some stuff like that. Then we see some more builder stuff, the editor settings, grid small, angle snap none, ambient music off, toggle debug tools. There's a bunch of different stuff that you'll be able to see in the build mode. And we see the little transform menu, so you can actually have different joints and then move them separately like that. That is a really cool way to do it. I think that makes it a little easier to move stuff around, but we're seeing building, I think, of the level that we saw in the trailer. I'm not sure if we'll actually see it though within the game. We probably will, but this was the trailer shots that we saw. This is more later in the trailer. It looks very different though. This looks like a space level. It looks like maybe you're on the moon and you can see Earth in the background. I mean, there's like a grabbable object or a needle and threadable object. Needleable object. I don't know how to say that. I don't know what to say. It's a little long. But a threadable object you can get, a grabbable object, whatever. It's a hook shot. So you can see the icon, you can see it working. It is a block that you can use, and you just use it to get a little higher. I think that was in the trailer. This is also in the trailer. You can see the eyes, you can see the banana suit. It looks a little old, I'm not gonna lie, but you can see the banana suit. Here there's a bunch of different variations of the eyes. We've seen a couple of them are covered, but it looks still really good. There's still that one mustache that exists, the same feet, just in a little bit of a different pose. In a different order as well. The glasses that we saw before maybe a little different as well. We can see the full spiky hair. It does look like dragon skin. Like it might be the dragon skin that has that hair. There's a bunch of different hair. It looks really cool actually. There's a Stuffy running on the moon. I think we saw this before. This might have been in the trailer. I'm not sure. But the renders look really good. I love the way Stuffy looks. I think it does look like this in the game. Yeah, I guess this is how it looks. I was thinking it'd look a little more like the concept art, but it does look really good. Then we see some more shots that pretty much we saw in the trailer, which is just climbing. There's the hook and thread, which looks really good as well. More climbing shots to the back wall, crawling shots, jumping. Stuffy's movement actually looks really good. At least in the still frames it does. And I think when I've seen the animations, it still looks amazing. So these are just pretty much stills of the trailer, but a little bit different. Yeah, these look more like stills of the trailer, or stuff that they had taken before we made the trailer. There's more needle and threadable objects. The corn is needle and threadable, so they can swing across and make it across the little chasm, and then pull blocks out so you can jump on them and get a little higher. Most of these images are like this. They're just little different variations of images that are like this. There's a crawling shot, which looks really, really cool. I like the way it looks a lot, just because it is like a camera in the action. It is like underneath, and you can see this little cow skin. Oh, that's what the mustache is for. It's for this like cowboy skin. Okay, I didn't even notice before this. This was also in the trailer, I believe. It is just light levels, I believe. Yeah, there's a light. There's a climbable object. No. Light settings, what color you want it. You can pick a specific color with a hex value. I think how bright it is. If it's in the background or something, maybe how bright it is. And then there's like another one. I don't know exactly what those settings are, but there's definitely a brightness setting on it. So yeah, these are really cool settings to see. The threadable object, there's more settings you can see, there's more level design you can see. This looks like the indoor setting. It looks like there's more of an office, like more of a painting studio. That's why there's a bunch of crayons around. There's a canvas in the background. There's a desk in the background, I guess they use to draw, sitting draw. The hay blocks are very blocky, but they look really cool. You can see some of the stamps that we've already seen in the past. The rolling acre stamp, it's really big in the background. See gardening tools, the actual blocks, the crayons that they put down, the household stuff. We can see more stamps, more color stamps, just like basic color stamps. There's cosmetics on the bottom. There seems to be sort of something like a cape, maybe. And then there's also just like the dragon skin. I'm not sure why it's just there. Oh, because they searched it. So they searched CA, and it gave them cape, and whatever the red skin is called, it starts with CA most likely. Or it has that involved in the name. I wouldn't doubt it, because that's why the carrots there's color stamps or something. I don't know what those things would start with, but it has CA in them, so that's why they got searched up. White, green, you can see how the search menu is working, because it's working with these colors, you know. So like there's different stamps that have these colors. So if you search green, you'll find everything green in stamps, in color, in materials and stuff like that. So that's really cool that it actually does work. You can see more in the neck. There seems to be some kind of like maybe collar or choker of some kind. There's the cape, and then there's the handkerchief thing on around the neck. There's different nose types. There's different skins that we've seen before. I think they are the same ones. The tails are also the same. There's nothing new. There's a really good looking Stuffy that we see here. There's back, so you can see the wings. You can see the chest again. You can see the ears, the Stuffy ears, the bee ears, the cow ones. It might be like a panda, maybe. Then there's like devil ones. Maybe it's a devil. I don't know. I don't know what they're supposed to be exactly, but it could be some kind of like a demon or a devil or a dragon. I don't know. It would be interesting to see either way. It looks really cool. There's just some more objects, some more show off of the levels, some more show off of the way the lighting looks. This looks amazing. It looks really good. Okay, below the hair, there is hands. So you can see what people are holding in their hands. There's a little like a honeycomb wand. I don't know what all of these are. There's nothing in that one, I don't think. There also doesn't seem to be anything in the second one. There's like a glass, like a spyglass, a little magnifying glass. It doesn't look perfect in the model, but it's there already. There's a glove. There seems to be something below the hand that is not even holding, and there's like maybe a spatula, but it could be backwards. I'm not sure. It just doesn't look finished. It doesn't look perfect yet. There's more head costumes. There's like a top of like a jacket or something like that, a hat, like a police hat, like an old style police hat, some like devil horns, a little top hat. I think there's like a fedora or something being covered by the headphones, like the name, but there's the headphones we've seen in the trailers that correspond to your draft book color. There's like that like Waldo red and white hat, and then there's like a floppy hat that you can see in the bottom. So yeah, this is like a really good example of what everything fits in here and how these models are already pretty much working. Not everything is perfect, but it's still probably a while away from being done. So that is all the screenshots, by the way. So let's move on to videos. There aren't that many, so I'm gonna go through them. Let's get through the videos. Man, I've been talking for almost an hour. All right, so the first video is just Stuffy. It's an early animation test, of the needle and thread. So it is nothing's colored in. It's just kind of a basic thing. The physics aren't done. I don't think that's how it's going to work in the final game. But it's just a testing if the object works, if the needle and thread works. It doesn't seem like the actual thing gets longer or shorter. It just stays the length you had it. But the gravity doesn't seem perfect yet because Stuffy is kind of moving all the way to the right and then staying there, and all the way to the left and staying there without like really big repercussions on gravity. I feel like there'll be more of a swingable motion able to do, but for now we're not there yet, at least when this video was done. There's just tests on the skybox, so tests on lighting and stuff like that, and the way that the clouds move, I guess. Maybe they'll actually move, or maybe they'll just be solid pictures. It doesn't matter too much. We won't be staring at the sky that much. Icon animation test. So if you hover over them, maybe they'll actually like bounce. You know, they can actually move up and down when you hover over them. So there's a little tiny animation of the objects you select. The next one is an idle test, which this one actually think has extra sound. I can hear something. It's static. Oh, what did I just hear? There a Coke? Hold on. Is it like a Coke? Okay, I'm gonna mute it because I can hear that really loud. But this is just an idle animation of Stuffy was standing in the standing in pose, and somebody's moving around. When he's in the craft book, he faces camera so you can see the costumes a little better. But it's just a little idle animation and it looks really good. I'm not gonna lie, that was a little funny to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is an early animation test of it. It just is like a rough model of it. It's not the best, but it's an early spline of this test that does become the real one that's in the game already. There's a pushing animation, which looks pretty good already. I like the way it looks. I don't know if this is exactly how it's gonna look in the final, but it looks pretty good within this test. And then there's a running animation, and it looks amazing. You can see the tail a little more because I hadn't seen it that much before, but it looks really good. There's like a back one that you can't see very much at the top of the frame, but there's a left running animation and right running animation. So you can see pretty much everything you need to see because you're not gonna be running towards camera anyways. You're not gonna be running behind camera or away from the camera either. It's just left and right pretty much, so it doesn't matter too much for the other angles. But that is all of the media folder. All the videos are done. On to the next part is music. And I don't think I'm going to go through all of them, but there's 30-second previews of music. So there's a Dandelion Dancing. Dandelion Dancing 30-second preview. I'm going to look at that real quick and let's put it on. I'm assuming that music is going to be for the farm level. It is just a 30-second preview, so it might not be finished, or maybe they don't want to show it off yet if people are going through it the way I am. So they don't want to make it public yet, but that's a 30-second preview of it. Next is Neon Wolf, Werewolf, which I guess may be before our night level. It sounds a little different, but it sounds really good. On to the next part is Hi-Hat Hokum, which will probably be playing in the background of this video, by the way, because I put it in the other video all the way through the background, and it sounds really good. I think I got it from here actually, but it sounds amazing. I like this music and it seems to fit the game pretty well, so I do like the way it sounds. I will keep using the music as long as I'm allowed to. I will keep using it in the backgrounds because it sounds really good. Onto the next folder. It's just labeled Stuffy, and there's character references. There's like the reference sheet of the model, which is the new model. It looks really cute. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looks really cute here because the eyes look like they're really happy, and the mouth is like, it looks really good. It's so much detail into this model. There's just a little variation between the two images, and then the last one is just like a base image, I guess, for maybe other characters that they want to put in there. It's just like a little reference for the actual like size of the model. And there's a Stuffy render. There's a couple different characters and stuff like that. So in here, there's the default bear. So there's a couple renders in here of the Stuffy running, which we see in the key art. There's a different version of it with like different lighting, because I guess it's on the different side. There's like a T-posing Stuffy. It looks really cool, is what we saw in the character reference. There's one that is on the website, I think also in the trailer's thumbnail, and this is a needle and thread. This is the best we've seen this as, actually. And then thread looks really thin, I'm not gonna lie to you, but there's a couple cords, so it's a little needle and thread. It's what it's meant to be. It looks relatively dangerous, but I wonder if any needle actually looks like this. But the needle and thread has a very short wire. I'm assuming it'll be as long as it needs to be. There'll probably be a certain length, but it can also probably be shorter. But this render of it looks really cool. Then there's the Stuffy sitting down and the Stuffy running on a different background, and that is all the Stuffy default bear renders. On to the next one is the bees. There's some bee renders. So this looks amazing. The lighting looks great. This must be on a really cool looking level, like maybe one of those like night neon levels. But we see the little hand honey thing, like full of honey, and there's like honey bottles holding. So this is like a complete render with some probably extra stuff added in that might not actually be in the game. But it looks amazing, honestly. The glasses look so cool. His character looks great. The glasses are off on the hat, and then they're on the character. I wonder if you can actually do that as a skin, but we'll see. There's the Cowboy one, which is the character that has the mustache. And has the cowboy boots and stuff like that, the little cow tail, the bull tail, whatever it is. It has actually the same hoofs that a cow would actually have. There's those little two things on it. That's the way they would look. It looks really cool. There's just a little variation between the backgrounds on those. So on to the next one. It is Detective. This is Detective Bear. We've seen him in one background on Trixel's website, and the lighting matches. This is the same model that's in there. You can use this as a wallpaper background if you wanted to. Not this exact model, but on Trixel's website you can download some backgrounds, and Detective Stuffy is on there, and it looks really cool. Then there's the headphones. There's just a side preview of the headphones. You don't see the ears of Stuffy, because I don't think this is how Stuffy should use headphones, because his ears are not there, but the ears are also not apparent. Actually, his ears fit into the holes on the headphones, so there must maybe be speakers there, and the bottom brown part doesn't do anything. It is just holding the headphones up. I wouldn't doubt that that's the point of them, but it has a little Trixel logo on the side. I was just going on tangent, sorry, but that is probably what they're for. It's just holding up the headphones, and the little holes that go around the ears, they probably actually have speakers in them. Then there's a render of the shark, which looks really cool as well. I hadn't seen much of this character, but it's just a little costume shark. It's not like an actual shark, it's just a little shark costume. It looks really good. But that is the end of the renders. The last one is some key art for the Captain Stuffy. There's just the banners that you see on Trixel's website. I do believe these are also on Trixel Creative and stuff, or Trixel Plus, I mean to say. And these are just little different art variations of this thing to promote it. And there's some square ones and some vertical ones to post probably on Instagram or on Twitter. I think they're mostly active on Twitter. But that is actually the end of the press kit, the Restitched press kit. That is it. I hope to find a way to cut this down as much as possible. I'm sorry this is very long, but I hope you go through it and enjoy this video. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. I guess I want to say real quick that I might record Let's Play stuff or little game stuff, so I would appreciate it if you made it this far into the video that you watch some of the other stuff I upload instead of just the Restitched. I do want to continue Restitched. I am gonna do it, but I do want to do other stuff as well, and I want to do more game stuff. I had been doing Terraria before this. I think the game I'm going to try out is starting a new sale on Wobble Dogs, because I've been enjoying that game a lot, and it was really fun to watch Therm play it. So we might go through some little Let's Play stuff on Wobble Dogs to have in between Restitched episodes, if possible. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We went over everything in the Restitched press kit. I don't think it's going to update for a while. This is already a little old though. It's like 2 weeks old, or a week old. So I might be missing some stuff that is in here, but this is older things. If I'm missing something, it'd be really new. Hopefully the Trixel Plus, the Trixel recap will come out soon. I'm looking forward to looking into that and maybe breaking it down to a small video, because this is gonna be a long one. I literally stopped looking through the press kit at exactly an hour on on my time, so I hope I can cut this down a little, but I don't want to keep making nonsense at the end. If you like the video, please subscribe. I will do more Restitched content for sure later on. When the game comes out, I definitely will be playing it. I will try and do some kind of let's play on it, but I will keep covering news on it for now. There isn't much to go over, so I'm trying to go over everything that exists at the moment, and then I'll move onto some other stuff. And if I would love for you guys to stick around for other videos, for gameplay videos. I want to keep moving into other stuff. I really like playing games on my channel. I would love to return to Twitch at some point, but going to college soon, I'm not gonna have a lot of time. So little videos like Wobble Dogs every once in a while, maybe once a week, I can do, and I would appreciate you guys to stick around and watch my normal content, the stuff that I'm used to doing. I love doing stuff like this. I would love to do more long form content like this, like covering other games and giving them spotlights and stuff like that. But for now, this is the end of the Restitched press kit. That is it. That is everything. If you want to check it out, you can look for it on Trixel's website. I will see if I can link it below in the description. I'll try and link everything I had talked about if I can remember. But if not, it is all there. You can look at this press kit on your own and look through all the pictures and get anything you want. And I'm using some of them as my backgrounds and using them in my thumbnails. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that may be. Yeah, see you guys then.